Oil and gas, the oil and gas sector shared about 6.1% last week as the second worst performing sector. Jubril Kareem, an oil and gas analyst at Ecobank, now joins me to review that sector. Thank you so much, Jubril, for joining us.
Thank you.
Do you think that law we saw last week has presented some bargains? Everybody knows the story about Seplat. It's all about an oil price story, but we do know that they're also going for some assets. So when you look at the slide in the prices we saw last week, what are your thoughts?
I think there are two factors, actually. First is the oil price, like you mentioned, with the upstream operators, Orlando, then Seplat. Then the other is there is a kind of repricing that is going on with some downstream operators, it's most especially Mobil.
Yeah.
And if we look at it, Mobil last year, after releasing their third quarter results, they saw earnings grow by 3 digits. So investors were taking position for that. As a value company, a lot of people were expecting that they would pay large chunk of that profit out as dividend. But in actuality, the company actually increased their dividend by 10%, which is the true growth in the company when you net the effect of about 2.7 billion that was related to the asset sale that occurred during the first quarter.
Right.
So there is a kind of repricing that is going on because Mobil was trading at a premium to Total for some time earlier in the year. But Total is now regaining that position now. We've seen prices of Mobil falling. So that is a factor. Then the other one is oil price as related to the upstream companies. Right. We've seen the price of Seplat dropping. So that will continue to happen as oil price continue to fluctuate. Right. The price of Seplat will also follow the same sort.
Well, recently there's just this feeling that maybe we're somewhere between $50 and $60 a barrel. So in that context, how do you rate Seplat? Do you think Seplat is something that we should be buying aggressively now? Maybe the impact of some of the acquisitions may show down the line?
I think the way I say it is Seplat happens to be one of my own top pick in the industry. Because if you look at it, Seplat was not the same country, it's not the same company it was last year. If you look at the operation, even if you look at the asset that they were holding last year, they've been able to increase production significantly on those assets. At the end of 2013, they were outputting about 20,000 barrels with their own interest. That increased to somewhere around 30,000 barrels a day by the end of 2014. Then earlier this year, they acquired 2 assets, OML 53 and OML 55 from Chevron. Those assets too, we add to their production in the long term. Because if we look at the production from those 2 fields, we have about 10,000 barrels coming from OML 55, then about 2,000 barrels coming from OML 53. Those are not significant. What Seplat is buying into is the reserve and the ability to ramp up production. And they've showed that they can do that effectively. So I think their increase in production will eventually compensate for the drop in oil price.
What's your broad view on the downstream sector? I mean, now given all the challenges that Nigeria is facing on the fiscal side, some people are even suggesting that maybe those subsidies may eventually go forever now. So your take on the downstream sector, is it looking a little more attractive given the reality of the times?
Well, I think some stocks are definitely looking attractive in the industry. If, for instance, like Total, like I mentioned, there has been a lot of negative sentiment surrounding the stock when compared to the industry peer that people usually pair Total with at Mobil over the year. But that is going to, I expect, to change in 2015 because what we witnessed in second quarter was there was a lot of reduction in terms of PPRA allocation, with so many companies now requesting for increasing volume. And Total now have the opportunity, rather than going to other companies that have been given this allocation by PPRA, they have the opportunity of going directly and reducing their cost. So I think the opportunity from companies like Total, then we have the small cap stocks in the industry too, like Etana, that still presents opportunity in the industry. So I think there are some opportunities.
All right.